I'm Amber McDuffie, and in this video I'm going to show you how to create Instagram Reels. Right now, Reels are the newest, hottest thing on Instagram, and it's the best way to get the most reach with your video content, and that is going to allow you to grow your audience. So it's really important to know how to use this feature so that you can jump in, have some fun, because it is a lot of fun, and create some Reels so that you can get your message out in front of your audience. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to go into our Instagram account and just hit the plus sign and click on Reel. So I'll walk you through what each of these little components are and then how you can use them to put together a reel. So the very top one is just your audio, the music. If you click on the music icon, it's going to have some suggested audio that you can use. A lot of the times it's based on some things that you've used in the past, and you can actually select those in advance before you even start recording if you'd like. If you hit the saved, that's just at the top left, it's actually going to show you all of the audio that you have saved from other reels. So as you are scrolling through Instagram Reels, if you click on the audio for someone else's reel, you can actually hit save and it'll save it over into your little music library. So when you go to create a reel and you, let's say, want to do a lip syncing, or even if you just liked the music, you can save it for yourself and use it for your reel. So I'm going to hit the back button and go back. This little top drop down, or the little line at the very top, if I just slide that down, it allows me to just get right back to the reel. So the very second item in that list is the time, right? So the amount of time that you have to create your reel. So right now mine just defaults to 30 seconds. That's my default. If I click on it, if I tap on it, I can make it 60 seconds. If I tap on it again, it'll go down to 15 seconds, and I can just go through each of those, especially if I just want to record a reel using my own voice, maybe no music, no nothing else, then you can actually just control in advance how long or short your reel is. The next one below that, where it says 1x, that is the speed, right? So if I tap on that and I look at where it says 0.3x, so that means it's going to go at 30% speed, or 0.5, 50% speed. So that's slow-mo, right? If I go to the 2x, 3x, 4x, then now I'm doubling my speed, and that's going to go much faster. This feature is really helpful if you're doing like a lip syncing, right? You can actually slow down the audio for the lip syncing so that you can more easily kind of match your lips to what they're saying. And then when it actually plays, then it's in regular time and it looks like you're just amazing at lip syncing, right? It allows you to kind of do a couple fewer takes if you are really struggling to get your lip syncing to match what the audio is doing. So if I just tap outside of that, it allows that to disappear. The one just below that is just layout. So layout, you can do grids, right? You can actually section off the screen simply by touching change grid. It'll give you options for different grid sizes and grid compartments that you can use. If I click back out of that, the one below it is just scale, where I can record two videos side by side. Those are just fun if you just want to play around and do something silly, do something a little different. I think it's always good to kind of get your hands in any tool like this and kind of figure it out and discover some pieces for yourself, because there's not a way to break it, right? But I just feel like it's helpful to know what are some standard tools to use, and so we're going to do that today. All right, so the very last one at the bottom is your timer. So if I click on the timer, it's going to allow you to set up a countdown. This is very helpful, again, if you're doing like a lip syncing kind of thing. You don't want to have your hands all in the screen where it shows you like pressing the play button and you're trying to snatch it back. When you set the timer, then you can actually get in position before it starts. So there's two countdowns. You can do 3 seconds, or I could do 10 seconds. I actually don't mess with the sliding scale, because if I don't mess with it, it actually will help my video start off wherever I ended up on my last clip, and I'll show you what I mean with that. So for example, let's just do a 3-second countdown timer. Once I have it on 3 seconds, and to toggle between those, you just tap on the 3 seconds or the 10 seconds and it'll change. Hit set timer at the bottom. Now, once I hit play, the video play button, if I hit play, notice how I now have a countdown on the screen. and it will allow me to count down and wait before I record. And then I just hit stop there, right? So now that I've recorded a little bit of a video, just next to the play button on the left-hand side, there's a little circle that'll show you the clip that you created. And I can, if I'm like, that wasn't the right take, like I'm gonna get rid of that one because this allows you to kind of preview it. Or if you're like, no, this is good, I just might need to shorten it and take some pieces off, then I can hit the trim button. And that's just the scissors, right? Because what you're gonna notice is you can see how my eyes kind of look down at the end, and it shows where I'm just about to go press the stop button. So I might wanna trim that part off. And all I do is just drag this backwards so that wherever it ends, it actually just ends with me still kind of in the video. And then at the top right, I just hit trim, and that is done. Now, once I'm done trimming and kind of modifying that clip, I can just hit done and it'll go back to a place where I can record some more. Now, the very bottom feature just appeared. It's called Align. Once you've recorded one video, you can now record more clips, but let's say you want to start off right where you ended before. This is going to allow you to do that. Maybe you want to do something fancy like change your clothes, or maybe you just needed to restart it because the audio was so fast and you tried to lip sync and you just couldn't keep up, but you did get the first part right and you don't want to have to start all the way completely over. So there's a couple of different uses for it, right? So if I hit Align, notice how it shows me my face where I ended up, and I can try to get back as close to where I was and kind of know, and then hit play, and now I can go from here and say the rest of my video and then stop it. And you can still set the timer for that as well once you get aligned. Let's say you set the timer so that you can have a chance to get your hand back out of the video. So there again, I can hit that little circle to the left of the play button and I can trim that video as I need to and just hit done. Now, just above the play button, there is an effects button. So if I click on that, it looks like little twinkle stars, and it's going to give you the whole menu of different effects and filters that you can use. In order for one of these filters to apply, you have to turn the filter on before you record. So we're going to record a third clip just so I can show you what I mean. So let's say I want to do, actually it automatically set one as soon as I click on effects, and you can scroll through these. Let's say I want to do California. That's the one that it went on. Once it's selected, you'll see that it's surrounded in blue. I just click back up on, tap back up on the screen where I can see my face, and that filter is now on. And the way I can tell is the play button is going to change. So my play button is going to show me exactly, or it's really the record button. The record button is going to show me what filter you selected, okay? If I happen to really like this filter and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to collect up a couple filters that I like to use regularly so I don't have to keep going and searching for them, then down just below the record button, you're going to see where it tells you what the effect is. It's called California, and on the left hand side it has a bookmark. So I can just press bookmark and now it is saved. Go back into your effects, click the little twinkly, and you'll see a little bookmark in the tabs that are at the top, and it'll show you all of the different effects that you've saved. So these are the ones that I have currently saved because I've got my bookmark selected. Tap back up on the screen and I'm back to record. So now if I hit that record button, it's going to record me with the filter on, and I can hit stop. And if I go back, I can see the difference. If I toggle between my different clips, I can see the difference between with the filter and without the filter. So just make sure that you apply the filter before you start recording, especially if you want that filter to be consistent throughout each and every clip. So I'll hit done. All right, now that we've looked at all of the different features on this screen, if I hit preview, it's going to show me what all of my clips look like together, okay? So once it plays through all of them together, if you're still like, that particular clip didn't do just so right, on the bottom left of this screen, you can actually edit the clips, right? This is something that's kind of new. I feel like when I first made Reels, it didn't have this feature. You always had to keep going back. And so what I can do is I can go back to the first clip. I can, again, modify the length of it, right? If I go to click on all clips, it takes me back to the screen where I can see all three of the clips that I created. Right? Now, another thing that you can do is you can reorder the clips. So if I click down, if I tap on reorder, down by the done button, it kind of shows them shaking, and that's how you know that they're ready to reorder. So if I hold the one down that I want to move, I can now switch it places with the other clip. That's helpful if you're not doing like a lip syncing, if you're just putting together some pictures and some short videos to some music and you're like, ooh, you know what, that clip will go better here. Then you can just put them in the right order and then click done and done, and you're all set with that. Once you have your video where you like it and you're like, okay, all together, all my clips, the way they're put together, I like it, I think I'm done with it, I want you to hit this download button. It's at the top left of the tabs at the top, because what that's going to allow you to do is to save that video to your phone. Let's say that you're not completely ready to post this today, right? If I hit next after my preview, if I hit next, then I can actually go down to the very, very bottom and click save as draft. Because maybe I'm like, okay, I'm just, batch creating. I want to create these for right now. I just want to do the video and I can do some text later. Then you want to save it as a draft. But the challenge is that because Instagram is glitchy, and this has happened to me, I have gone out of it. I didn't even log out of the app, but when I came back in and I tried to access the draft that I had saved, it wouldn't work. It still doesn't work to this day. Like, it's just sitting there in my drafts. So when I click on it, it just tells me, hey, there's something went wrong. We can't do anything about it. Basically, it's over. So, but because I had downloaded that video, I was able to re-upload it, and I'll show you how to do that as well. Once I hit save as draft, then it will save in my drafts and I can re-enter it later. This back button at the top left, if I go back, I can actually go back in and do some more modifications to that reel if I'd like to. And just to show you some other things, you can add some effects after the fact, after you've created your reel, and this will add it to all 3 clips. If you're on this page, the one right next to the twinkle stars and the effects is your stickers. If you want to add some stickers, right? If you do want to add some text, then just click, you can either just tap anywhere on the screen and it'll give you a cursor to start typing. And once you start typing, you can click done. So let's say add text here, right? And at the very bottom of that, you can see I can actually scroll through and change my font. That's how you change your font. And then at the very top, I can actually change the color of my font, the alignment of my font, or of my text. And let's say if I want this text and this font, but I want this color, then I just click on the color that I want. And you can kind of go through and look at the different effects for the text. And just tap on these buttons to just kind of see, okay, what does that do to the text? And if you like it, then you just click done and you have finished there. And if I want to move the text, I just drag it on the screen, just completely drag it. Now, if I only want that text to appear on the screen for a certain amount of time, down on the bottom left, you can see where it says add, because that's the first word in my text. If I click on that, it'll open up the timeline, right? And maybe I only want that text to appear on the screen for a short period of time. So I just drag it back and then I stop there, I click done. And so once I let it preview, it's going to show me where that text is on the screen only during that time of the video that I allowed it. So it will eventually disappear once that timer for that text runs out. All right, so that is it for adding that text. I'm going to click next and then save as draft and then it just kind of logs it down in the draft. There's a couple ways you can get to it. Go to your reels, or if you go back in to create a reel, down on the bottom left where there's this plus sign, this is where I can actually add in some video. So remember, I saved the video, I downloaded the video, right? If I just want to add that back in, I just tap on what I selected in the first place and then I click add, and now it's part of my reel. When I go back to it, I can see that it has put it all together as one video, right? I'm actually going to delete that out of here right now and then show you how from here you can actually just go to drafts. So if I click on that plus sign in the bottom left again, right next to where it says recents, next to it says drafts. So if I click that and then I select that draft that I just created, now it actually takes me where I can modify those pieces that I put in there. Top right is edit. Click on that and see how now I can actually move this text. Now this becomes my original video, my original reel that I can edit as it was. And then when I am done with that, I just add my caption, and down at the bottom, I can click on share. It is very difficult for you to mess it up and break it. So it's really just good to put your hands on it, play with it, try it out, and actually see how fun it is. I love creating reels. In fact, because it's such a good way to reach your audience, it makes it exciting that you can do something that's fun and creative for you. Now, if you want to know how to create, a lot of reels and be consistent with this, then I want you to watch my next video here on batching reels, batch creating reels, so that you can create a lot of these very quickly and be able to post them consistently. That's truly how you're going to get your reach up, okay? And if you need some more ideas on what kind of content to use for your reels, just stay tuned, as that video will be coming soon.